After a very slow box office start to 2024, it actually seems like this summer we might have a bit of a battle breaking out amongst studios, with Inside Out 2 making now over $1 billion, which was a little bit of a surprise to me, but that movie has shown to have a lot of legs and is continuing to go again, just broke over that $1 billion threshold. But coming in to knock it off the number one pedestal is Despicable Me 4. But the question remains, who will reign supreme when it comes to the animation crown for this summer? So we're going to go into an article here from Deadline that kind of goes into this and which movie may end up on top. Hi, I'm Jared with Capture the Magic, and we'll just get right into this. So the headline here is Despicable Me 4 now on track for a $112 million 5-day opening. So it's on the box office. Now, this movie was projected at just being at like $70 million opening weekend just a few days ago, which I thought was very low considering that this is a very successful franchise. This movie, Despicable Me 2 and 3, I can't remember if all of them or one of them broke $1 billion. So they have been very successful in the past. Obviously, there's been spin-offs with the Minions. And speaking of a parent of younger kids, like our kids love these movies. And I find them pretty entertaining for what they are. But yeah, it since was updated before we started getting box office results in. Some were saying on track to make as much as almost $200 million opening weekend, but now it's saying on track for 112. And it says this is as of Friday, as of today when this is being recorded. Despicable Me 4 is looking to post a Friday of $23.4 million on its way towards $64.4 million 3-day and a 5-day of $112 million. Says which is still north of the tracking range of 110 to 120 million. Now, this is an important thing, I think, in terms of perhaps the longevity of this movie. Is it says here it skews younger than Inside Out 2, so don't expect the late evening draws. Even though Inside Out 2 is it's a cartoon, the demo, or a heavy part of the demo seeing this movie, are women, like older women, not kids, but women, 20 to 30-year-old women, 40-year-old women going to see this movie. Whereas Despicable Me 4 is going to trend more toward the families and the kids. It says Illumination continues to have bragging rights with the franchise, with Despicable Me 4 becoming the animation studio's 12th title to open at number one. The series holds the most number one debuts of any animated franchise ahead of Shrek. Disney's Pixar's Inside Out 2 is seeing $10.8 million in its fourth Friday. It's down 36% from a week ago. But again, that's not to be unexpected with, it's in its third weekend. Plus, you have another big movie coming out. They go into numbers here that it's pacing ahead of Incredibles 2. Now, if it's around the $125 million point, this would be the biggest opening for a Despicable Me movie, as the first one had broke about $60 million opening weekend. Despicable Me 2 was $83.5 million. The Minions, just Minions, was $115 million. Despicable Me 3 was $99 million. The Minions Rise of Gru was $123 million, and then Despicable Me 4 is now projected at being $125 million. So this is looking to be the most successful opening weekend of any of the Despicable Me movies, which that's a trend that you would like to see if you're making these movies, that they're just getting more and more popular, it would seem, and having a lot of success. Now, if it does finish at 123, $125 million opening weekend, that would be below Inside Out 2. Inside Out 2 did hit about $155 million opening day weekend. But the thing that I find interesting, and I think the question people have is, which one is going to end up making more money? Now, Inside Out 2, has had, this is now going into its third week, and they knew it was going to come up against Despicable Me, which was going to undercut it, given it's in a very, obviously, we talked about it skewing toward more women and not as much kids with this movie, but it's still in that same family of movies. Whereas Despicable Me 4 doesn't have the same type of movie that it could be up against in a few weeks. Now, it does have Deadpool versus Wolverine coming out later this month in July, and that is going to be a massively giant movie. I'm actually looking forward to that movie quite a bit. So I'm not in any remote way trying to take away that movie could, is not going to be a success, but it is a completely different group, given that movie is going to be rated R, and this is a children's movie for families. So those are different demos here. You're talking about the middle of the summer as well. A lot of families looking to just take their kids to go see a movie. So it'll be interesting to see the legs on Despicable Me 4 versus Inside Out 2. And I think we're in an era too, when it comes to movies, like word of mouth, it means a lot. I think if a movie is good, people talk about it, and then a lot of people are willing to go spend their money on it. Because let's just be honest, it's not cheap to go to movies now. I can tell you, a family of four, you're talking at the least $50, if not more, just for tickets before you even get to popcorn, candy, or anything else of that nature. So I think people are a lot more selective on what they're going to go see. And sometimes they wait to see if a movie is good or if it has messaging they don't agree with and things like that. So while the opening weekends good for both franchises, as of right now, it looks like Inside Out 2 will be have the upper hand on opening weekend. We'll have to wait and see how Despicable Me 4 ends up going on the week, week 2, week 3, week 4, because many times the Illumination movies tend to have legs and they tend to kind of go longer. And again, it doesn't have another animated movie pressed up against it. It does have Deadpool Wolverine. Again, I don't think that necessarily the people going to see Deadpool Wolverine are the same people that are going to go see Despicable Me 4 in terms of like the mass people. Obviously, you wouldn't expect small kids to be going to see Deadpool versus Wolverine and like that. We'll have to wait and see on that. But as of right now, both movies are a success. This is a great thing for movie theater owners because that's been something that I'm sure this year has not been great on that end. And if you're into animation, I've heard I haven't seen either movie as of yet. I've heard Inside Out 2 is a good movie. I've heard from a lot of people that it's a good movie, but I haven't heard much about Despicable Me 4. We are going to go see that. So if I see that, in the next week, I'll do a review on it on this channel, but we'll have to do an update to see how it shakes out in the animation war this summer. But given Inside Out 2 is now the most successful animation movie out there ever, we'll have to see what Despicable Me 4 does, but it's a very hard hill to climb if they are going to beat it, but that would be a great summer for animation either way if that happens. So that's going to do it for this video. If you like this video, like it, subscribe to the channel as we do lots of Universal Studios, Epic Universe, Disney World, and pop culture news around here. And let us know what you think. Did you see either one of these movies? And do you think animation wars are back in style? And just let us know. And until next time, we will see you later.